Okay, we'll look at some of the homework problems in section 5-2. And we'll look at problem number 1, where we're to divide if possible and check your answer. In this case, we have 9 divided by -9. Now here we're dividing two integers with different signs, so pretty much the answer is going to be simply a negative number. So here, if we do 9 divided by 9, it's going to be 1. So 9 divided by -9 will simply be -1. So here on the MyMathLab homework, they may give you a choice of answers here. You either choose A and then type in your answer, or choose that the answer is undefined. Okay, the only time that the answer is going to be undefined is when you're taking a number and dividing it by 0. But in this case, we're dividing 9 by -9 to get -1. Alright, number 2 is to simplify. Well, we got -414 divided by 69, and that's going to be divided by -6. Well, let's do the -14 divided by 49 first. That will give us -6. And then -6 divided by -6. Well, we're dividing two integers with the same sign, so the answer is going to be a positive. So 6 divided by itself will be 1. And it'll be a positive 1. So that answer there would just simply be 1. Number 3. In the following, P and Q are integers, where Q is not equal to 0. Use the definition of division in terms of multiplication to perform the indicated operations, and write your answer in simplest form. Well, in this case here, in part A, you got AP divided by 8. And another way of writing that would be simply AP over 8. And pretty much you can see that the 8's will divide out, because 8 divided by 8 would be 1. And you're left with P. So AP divided by 8 will simply be P. And in part B, we got -PQ divided by Q. Here the Q's will divide out, and you're only left with -P. So -PQ divided by Q would be, in this case, -P. All right, take a look at problem number 4, where if x is an integer and x is not equal to 0, is the following expression always positive, always negative, or neither? In this case here, -x, and it's going to be squared. Okay, now another way we can write this as -x times -x, because -x is used as a factor 2 times. So here -x times -x will simply be x squared. And no matter what value of x that you assign, whether it's positive or negative, x squared will always be positive, because we're squaring a number. Problem number 5 is to multiply and combine terms where possible. In this case, you got 6 times and in parentheses a plus b. Well, we'll just simply have to use the distributive property here. So here, when we do 6 times a, you'll have 6a plus 6 times b is 6b. So here, 6 parentheses a plus b would just be 6a plus 6b. All right, number 6, we're going to solve this equation for x, and don't forget to perform a check. Here we got 11x equals -88. Just 11x equals -88. And we want to get x by itself. Here we're multiplying by 11, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides of this equation by 11. That will give us x is equal to, we'll do negative 88 divided by 11, which is negative 8. And of course, to do the check, we take the original equation, replace the x with negative 8. That should give us an answer of negative 88. Well, if you do 11 times negative 8, you'll get negative 88, which does give you negative 88, and that checks. So here, x equals negative 8 is the solution to this equation. All right, number 7. If x is an integer and x is not equal to 0, is the following expression always positive, always negative, or neither? Now here we got the expression negative x, and that quantity is to the 5th power. In this case here, x could be negative or x could be positive. Now if x is negative, then that means we're going to have a positive x and it's raised to the 5th power. Or if x is positive, then that means it's going to be just a negative x to the 5th power. So in this case here, it will neither be positive nor negative, because we're raising that particular expression to an odd power. So that answer could be either positive or negative because of the fact that x is an integer where x can't be equal to 0. So x could be either positive or negative when you substitute it for x into that particular expression. All right, number 8. Here, the temperature of a chemical reaction in a lab rose by 3 degrees Celsius per minute. If the temperature at 7 o'clock p.m. was negative 33 degrees Celsius, find the temperature on the same day at 7:15 p.m. Okay. Now, in this case here, they want you to choose the correct expression for that temperature. Now, in this case here, it was negative 33 degrees Celsius at the time. Now, from 7 o'clock to 7:15 p.m., that time span was 15 minutes. So we're going to add 15 times here the temperature rose by 3 degrees Celsius per minute. So it'll be 15 times 3 degrees Celsius. So the expression for that would be negative 33 degrees Celsius plus 15 minutes times 3 degrees Celsius per minute, which is in this case going to be answer B. Then number 9 is to factor the following expression completely and then simplify if possible. Here we got 10x plus 8x. Well, in this case here, the way they want you to factor this is, of course, the common factor in this expression is x, because x is in both 10x and 8x. And what's going to be left in the parentheses are going to be those two numbers, 10 plus 8. And then we can add 10 and 8 together to get 18x. So here 10x plus 8x would simply be 18x. And then finally, number 10 is to write the first 5 terms of the sequence whose nth term is negative 7n minus 3. In this case here, the first term, that means n is going to be 1. So here we got negative 7 times n, which is going to be 1, minus 3. And then if you simplify this, negative 7 times 1 will be negative 7. And then negative 7 minus 3, that's negative 10. So the first term is going to be negative 10. And then the second term would be n is equal to 2. So that means negative 7 times 2 minus 3. And negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. Negative 14 minus 3 would be negative 17. So the second term is negative 17. And then the third term, that means n is going to be equal to 3. And then we have negative 7 times 3 minus 3. So in this case here, negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Negative 21 minus 3 is negative 24. And then the fourth term means n is equal to 4. So in this case here, we got negative 7 times 4 minus 3. And negative 7 times 4 is negative 28. Negative 28 minus 3 is negative 31. And then finally, for the fifth term, n is equal to 5. So we'll do, in this case here, negative 7 times 5 minus 3. Now, negative 7 times 5, that's negative 35. Negative 35 minus 3, that's negative 38. So the fifth term is going to be negative 38. So this should be enough to assist you with some of the homework problems that you'll find on the MyMathLab.